She tried to ruin his date for 20, but he's a millionaire CEO fell madly in love. The air crackled with tension as the bustling cafe sat at the edge of town, an unsuspecting stage for the unexpected drama that was about to unfold. Jessica, a waitress with dreams that extended far beyond her paycheck, noticed something was off the moment she spotted him. Dashing, in a crisp suit that screamed money, he commanded the room's attention as if it was his birthright. Eyes gleaming with a mix of curiosity and envy, patrons whispered among themselves, intrigued by the handsome millionaire who somehow was slumming it at their humble spot. But as fate would have it, he was there for more than just the aroma of freshly brewed coffee. He was waiting for her, a date that promised to be the highlight of their mundane lives. Little did he know, Jessica had plans of her own. Just $20, she thought, that's all it takes to shake things up. With a heart pounding against her ribcage like a drum, she plotted an insidious little scheme to ruin his perfect little date. And as she quickly scribbled a note, the words dripped with poison, each letter tinged with a thrill that sent shivers down her spine. Could such a small price provoke such a grand upheaval? Outside, clouds gathered, darkening the sun overhead, matching the brewing storm inside her. Shadows danced across the crowded room as she approached, the thick scent of coffee mixing with tension in the air. Her hands trembled slightly as she watched them laugh, oblivious to the storm brewing in her heart. He leaned in closer, whispering sweet nothings that sent butterflies fluttering in her stomach. Why did this matter so much? Why was she risking everything on a whim? The dissonance twisted in her chest, urging her to act. Before we continue, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. Just as she was about to execute her plan, a woman burst into the cafe, her face flushed with urgency. Jessica's heart stopped. It was Lucille, his ex, the one he'd always kept close, the one whose presence now cast a dark shadow over Jessica's intentions. Lucille's eyes swept the room, locking onto him with a fierce intensity that sent a chill through the crowd. The energy shifted, thickening like fog. What would happen next? Would Jessica dare reveal her hand, or would she retreat into the shadows, letting nature take its course? Secrets were lurking, and in a game of love and ambition, who would be left standing? The atmosphere was electric as Jessica stood rooted to the spot, her mind racing. Panic clawed at her throat as she watched Lucille glide across the cafe. It was almost like a scene from a movie, the all-too-familiar vibe of a love triangle, and it filled the air with tension that was almost unbearable. Josh. Lucille's voice rang out, sharp and demanding. The single syllable echoed in Jessica's ears like a gunshot. Josh, the name slipped through her heart like a dagger. Just when she thought her scheme would create a ripple, an earthquake loomed. He glanced up, confusion morphing into surprise as he met Lucille's gaze. The laughter at his table faded, replaced by the weighty silence of a sudden confrontation. Jessica's palms grew clammy as she shuffled her feet, unsure of her next move. Should she approach? Confront the past that reared its ugly head right when she least expected it? Lucille, what are you doing here? His voice was calm, but Jessica could see the flicker of discomfort flash across his face. He hadn't mentioned her, that much Jessica knew. Was it a choice to avoid a ghost from his past, or simply an oversight? I need to talk to you, Lucille said, her words dripping like honey, sweet but toxic. She stepped closer, invading not only his personal space, but Jessica's heart too. Fear tangled with jealousy as Jessica's mind whirred. What were they discussing? Was it about their past, or something more? Every second felt like an eternity. Jessica's heart raced as Lucille leaned in, her lips barely moving as she whispered. A moment later, her gaze darted towards Jessica, and Jessica felt the heat of a spotlight shining right on her. Would Lucille expose the truth? Would she turn the tables and paint Jessica as the villain? Instinctively, Jessica's hands tightened around the note in her pocket. It was a paper bullet, ready for war. The plan felt trivial now, lost in the turbulence rising between them. Josh's smile faded as he turned from Lucille to meet her eyes. Was that concern she saw there? Or pity? What is she doing here? It was more a statement than a question. A mixture of surprise and hurt marred his features. Jessica moved. With a deep breath, she stepped forward, each stride leading her deeper into the fray. The words caught in her throat, heavy with uncertainty. That S when the cafe's door swung open once more, and a gust of wind raced through, carrying in a wave of rain as the storm outside finally broke. Patrons flinched, some murmured, and chaos followed as wet umbrellas flipped and chairs scraped. In that whirlwind of a moment, Jessica felt something shift in the air between her and Josh. She caught his gaze, a spark flickering between them amidst the chaos. It was electrifying and terrifying. "Jessica," he began, a storm brewing in his own eyes, and it made her heart pound. But Lucille stepped between them, arms crossed, her expression darkening. "Let us not make a scene, shall we?" She interjected smoothly, but the venom in her voice was unmistakable. Jessica felt a surge of anger rise within her. How far would she let Lucille push her? Was she really going to let this woman dictate the narrative of her life's most pivotal moment? Just as she gathered the courage to speak, the door burst open again, a synchronized snap that made everyone turn. This time, the figure that stepped into the cafe was one she never expected. What secrets would this newcomer unveil? Would Jessica's plans crumble under the weight of old ghosts, or would she finally take control of her own destiny? The door swung wide, water cascading from the newcomer's drenched clothes. Jessica squinted, the light from outside illuminating the silhouette. It took a heartbeat for the figure to step forward, revealing a striking woman with wild, curly hair that danced in the wind. Everyone in the cafe turned to gawk, their intrigue momentarily distracting from the brewing storm among the three at the center of the drama. "Amber!" Josh shouted, nearly leaping from his seat. His expression morphed from confusion to delight, and Jessica felt her heart plummet. Who is this woman, and why did she seem so familiar to Josh? A knot tightened in her stomach. "Sorry I'm late," Amber exclaimed breathlessly, shaking off droplets like a wet dog. Ignoring the unsettled atmosphere completely, she walked straight to Josh, wrapping her arms around him. "I thought you'd be halfway to dessert without me." The air thickened as Lucille's irritation simmered beneath the surface. She stepped aside, but didn't retreat, her eyes narrowing with suspicion. Jessica clutched her note tighter, her mind swirling like a cyclone. Was this the surprise attack she never saw coming? Josh embraced Amber, oblivious to Lucille's presence. Jessica's heart raced. She couldn't let him get swept away in the moment, not when he was right in front of her. She needed to interrupt, needed to reclaim her place in this chaotic mess. Clearing her throat, she summoned every ounce of resolve. "Can I have a word with you, Josh?" The words felt foreign on her tongue, hollow amid the chaos swirling around her. Jess, he paused, torn between two worlds, the warmth of Amber's embrace and the tension dissipating between him and Lucille. Jess took the chance, stepping closer despite the nagging feeling in her gut. "What's this?" Amber's voice dripped with mock curiosity as she eyed Jessica. "Another friend from the past." No, Jessica started, but Lucille chimed in, her voice laced with confidence. "She's just someone who tried to ruin a date. But here I am, already on to the next." Her smile was a twisted knife buried deep, revealing nothing but malice. "Cut it out, Lucille," Josh snapped, pulling away from Amber. He seemed to regain some semblance of focus, eyes darting between the three women. "This isn't helping." "Of course it isn't," Lucille replied smoothly, unfazed. "What a charming reunion. I love a good showdown." Her lips curled, eyes sparkling with glee as if feeding off the confusion around them. Jessica took a breath, ignoring the way her heart thudded painfully like a prisoner in a cage. "This isn't what I wanted." "I thought we were here to..." Her voice trailed off, the words tangled in disappointment. Thought you were here to what, Jess? Lucille's voice was a hiss now, and Jessica could feel every pair of eyes in the cafe glued to her. People leaned in, anticipating the clash. I just wanted to talk about what happened, Jessica said, and suddenly the cafe simmered with a charged tension. Would this moment bring resolution or catastrophe? She felt as if it hinged precariously, throbbing in the air like a ticking time bomb. Amber grinned, a knowing look flickering in her eyes. It was as if she smelled blood, ready to take a bite into the drama unfolding. I can see this is going to get juicy. She leaned against the counter, arms crossed, waiting for the next act to begin. Before Jessica could respond, Josh stepped forward, shaking his head. No, he began firmly. Enough games. Someone needs to put their cards on the table. Just then, the cafe door swung open again, and this time, a man entered his presence so commanding people turned and gasped. His tailored suit, intense gaze, and aura inserted a new kind of tension. What did I walk into? He demanded, surveying the scene. What secrets did he hold? And why did he look like he might know everything? Jessica's palms were sweaty, her entire body vibrating with the crescendo of unresolved conflict. Would this man unravel everything, or would their fragile positions finally come crashing down? As the air thickened with anticipation, only one thing was certain. Tense moments like these could either define them or destroy them. Every eye in the cafe was glued to the imposing figure standing in the doorway. The soft chime of the bell overhead was swallowed by the sudden quiet as the man scanned the room, his brow furrowed in curiosity. Jessica could feel the weight of his gaze lingering on her, and a chill coursed down her spine. Who are you? Lucille was the first to break the silence. Her voice cut through the tension like a knife, but even she seemed taken aback by the newcomer. The man, tall, sharply dressed in a dark suit, shifted slightly, his gaze flickering to Josh, then back to the rest of them. Just an interested party, he replied, his tone assertive yet smooth. And it looks like I've arrived just in time for a bit of drama. Josh stepped forward, brows knitting together protectively. This isn't your business. Just go, he urged, his voice steady but stirred with unease. Amber, however, was enthralled. She took a step closer, her smile widening with excitement. Oh, I love this. A mystery man? Please tell us you have popcorn. Her playful banter danced around the growing tension, and Jessica felt a pang of irritation. Let us focus on what's at stake here, the man said, his voice slicing through all the chatter. I can see there's a lot going on. Jessica's heart raced. She couldn't shake the feeling that he knew more than he let on, and that perhaps he was the missing key to unraveling everything. Who are you really? She managed to ask, her voice trembling slightly. A brief smile flickered on his face, enigmatic and teasing. Names are just labels, aren't they? But for now, you can call me Eric. As he spoke, Jessica couldn't help but notice the way he seemed unfazed in the storm of emotions swirling around them. His confidence reminded her of a magnetic force, drawing attention away from the brewing chaos among the group. Eric, Lucille tried, her voice dripping with skepticism. You don't look like someone who just wanders into messy cafe dramas. Maybe I'm here for a reason, he replied, eyes glinting with mischief. Maybe I'm here to make a few things clear. Amber chuckled, clearly enjoying the tension. This is getting better by the minute. So, what do you plan to clear up? Jessica felt the storm rise within her. Enough. This isn't a game. She locked eyes with Josh, desperate for him to understand the depth of her frustration. We need to talk about what happened last summer, with me, you, and whatever this mess is. Suddenly, Eric stepped closer, his presence commanding. Last summer? He echoed sharply, scrutinizing Jessica as if something sparked in his mind. I think I might know something about that. The air hummed with uncertainty. Jessica's heart skipped a beat. His words felt like a hidden truth waiting to be unveiled. Could he possibly know what happened between her and Josh? I'm done with secrets, Josh said, anger simmering under his calm facade. If you know something, Eric, spit it out. His voice rose, punctuated with desperate urgency. I know a lot of things, Eric replied slowly, each word a deliberate bomb dropped into the room. But if we're going to air out the dirty laundry, You should be prepared for what it might reveal. The cafe buzzed again, whispers ricocheting off the walls as patrons leaned in, stifling their breaths. What had Eric just unleashed? And would the floodgates open to truths that could shatter their already fragile connections? As the tension reached a breaking point, Jessica felt the inevitable weight of the coming revelations. What else was lurking beneath the surface? Everything changes tonight, Eric declared, his voice steady as he took a step toward them, something dark and dangerous glimmering in his eyes. What secrets was he hiding? And would they ruin everything she fought so hard for? Jessica's breath hitched. The words hung in the air like a noose, tightening around her hopes. Eric's gaze was piercing, as if he were peeling back layers of her carefully constructed walls. What did he know? Her insides twisted with a mix of fear and anticipation. Ready or not, Jessica, Eric continued, the past is about to catch up with each of you. She felt Josh's hand grip her arm, grounding her amid the storm. His touch was familiar yet foreign, a reminder of all that had transpired. She could sense the tension radiating from him, the fierce protection clashing with the undeniable interest in Eric's revelation. Look, whatever happened last summer, it's in the past, Jessica shot back, partly to convince herself. It shouldn't dictate our lives now. But does it? Eric leaned back slightly, a self-satisfied smile creeping onto his face. You seem to think you're in control. How naive. The cafe had transformed into a pressure cooker. The other patrons were mere shadows now, their hushed conversations merging into a cacophony of anxiety. Amber had stilled, her playful demeanor faltering as she exchanged worried glances with Lucille. Let it go. Just tell us what you know, Josh demanded, his patience fraying. Jessica could see the hurt in his eyes, thickening the air between them with unsaid words. I know about the text messages, Eric said coolly, his eyes flickering like flames. The ones you thought no one saw. Shock ricocheted through the group, sharp and cutting. Jessica's heart plummeted. Each letter, each moment, from that fateful summer danced through her mind, taunting her with unraveling truths. What are you talking about? Lucille's voice trembled, barely masking her rising panic. Let us just say Eric toyed with his tie, sparking curiosity and dread simultaneously. Communications have a way of slipping through the cracks. Don't you hate it when secrets come back to bind you? Horrible joke, Eric, Josh warned, his voice low and dangerous, but the tension in his jaw told Jessica he was equally unnerved. Not a joke. A revelation, Eric replied smoothly. Jessica had a connection with someone who shouldn't matter anymore. But those ties can be harder to sever than you think. Jessica's skin prickled, dread pooling in her stomach. You don't know anything, she challenged, but her voice wobbled. Oh, but I do, Eric said, leaning closer. Your past is layered with choices. Choices you aren't ready to face. What do you want? She shot back, refusing to buckle while her heart raced in her chest. You've come here to what, stir up drama? Ruin lives? I'm here to inform, Eric said, every syllable dripping with intention. Things are brewing, and you'd be wise to remember that some choices come with consequences. Jessica's world narrowed, the cafe walls closing in around her. This was not just about her past. It was bigger, more dangerous. Why no? She whispered, a mix of fury and fear rising within her. Why can't you just leave us alone? Because, Eric smiled, unfazed, the time has come to collect. Shockwaves of uncertainty rippled across the tables. Jessica exchanged a quick glance with Josh, desperation sharpening their gaze. How deep did Eric's knowledge run? Soon enough, you'll all be faced with a choice: face what you've buried or allow it to swallow you whole, Eric offered, casually leaning back as if this were just another day at the cafe. As the panic and uncertainty swirled, Jessica's heart raced. What lay under the surface? Things will never be the same again, Eric said, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper, and you can't ignore the shadows forever. Jessica felt the walls closing in. What would it take to expose the truth? And could she and Josh survive what was about to unfold? The bell above the door chimed again, an unsettling omen echoing through the cafe. As the door swung open, a flash of light poured in, illuminating the darkest corners of their reality. Who else could be stepping into their tangled lives? The ground trembled under her feet. What would emerge from the shadows, ready to append everything she thought she understood? The door swung wide, and a gust of wind rushed in, carrying with it the scent of rain and late autumn. The light revealed not just a new figure, but a storm waiting to surge. Jessica squinted, her heart lurching at the sight. A tall woman stepped in, her dark hair cascading over shoulders, clad in an expensive coat, the kind that whispered of wealth and power. Jessica recognized her instantly. Maya, the source of so many whispers. The one who played puppet master last summer. A sense of dread coiled tightly in Jessica's chest. What is she doing here? Amber whispered, her eyes wide with fear. The cafe felt smaller as Maya approached their table, her stride confident, predatory even. Good to see you all again, Maya said, her voice smooth like velvet, pulling every eye in the cafe towards her. Especially you, Eric. I didn't expect to find you stirring trouble in this quaint little spot. Eric smirked, the tension in his smug smile growing thicker, and leaned back, clearly enjoying the unfolding drama. Maya, he replied, lacing his fingers casually, nothing I love more than a reunion. She ignored him, scanning over Jessica and Josh, a gleam of mischief flashing in her piercing gaze. I hear you've been making big decisions lately, Jessica. Is it true? Are you finally confronting your past? The words hung like a dark cloud, heavy with implication. Jessica could feel the panic rising, threatening to spill over. What did Maya know? Jessica fought to keep her face steady, but inside, every nerve was a live wire. I don't know what you're talking about, Jessica stammered. The lie tasted bitter on her tongue, but Maya's knowing smile deepened, as if feeding off her unease. Oh, please, Maya's voice stripped with mockery. You really think you could hide something from me? I'm just here to help you. Help? Josh snapped, his frustration spilling over into protectiveness. You've hurt enough people. Why don't you just walk away? Maya turned her attention to him, the corner of her mouth lifting in a half-smile. Josh, sweetie, you really should mind your own business. This isn't about you. It's about your dear Jessica. Wouldn't you hate to see her crumble under the weight of her past? What do they say? Secrets have a way of surfacing when you least expect them. Eric shifted, enjoying the chaos. The cafe was too quiet now. Every word generated a ripple of tension through the patrons who tried to pretend they weren't listening. What do you want from us? Jessica's voice was steadier than she felt, each tremor tightening her resolve. Maya leaned closer. Honestly, just a little fun. You see, some truths are better left buried, but can you really hold back a flood when the dam is cracked? Let us just say our little summer escapade wasn't so forgotten, not by me and certainly not by Eric. Jessica turned to Eric, anger boiling inside her. You brought her here. Why? Not my doing, Eric replied, an innocent twinkle in his eye. But now that she's here, why not have a little chat? Don't you want to know what could be lurking in the depths? Maya laughed lightly, her eyes flashing with a predatory glare. Trust me, Jessica. It's always the ones you think are the least threatening that hold the most damage. This reunion could change everything. The atmosphere suddenly felt electric, a tightrope of secrets vibrating between them. Jessica shot Josh a frantic glance, pleading for the courage to brave what was sure to unfold. Just then, the ground beneath them vibrated once more, but this time a different kind of tension filled the air, a familiar one. Jessica strained to hear as the door creaked open slowly again. Jessica? A deep voice called from the shadows, her heart sparked, dread intertwining with hope. Could there be more hidden truths emerging? Would this disrupt everything further? Who is there? Maya sneered, irritation flashing across her face as if Jessica's world were her playground. Jessica felt her breath hitch again. What might pour in next? And could this be the key to unlocking her tangled fate or the final blow that would topple her completely? The door swung open fully, and in stepped a tall figure shrouded in a rain-soaked jacket. The striking white hair caught the muted light, revealing a face weathered yet familiar. Lucas. Jessica breathed, recognition flooding her system all at once. Maya's expression turned sharp as she leveled her glare at the newcomer, her composure fracturing. How quaint. Little reunion, isn't it? Lucas's eyes scanned the cafe, landing on Jessica with an intensity that made her pulse quicken. I need to talk to you, Jess. Right now. His voice was firm, but underneath it was an urgency that sent a shiver down her spine. What could you possibly want that not better saved for a more private setting? Maya taunted, stepping in front of Jessica as if she might shield her from whatever Lucas had to say. Stay out of this, Maya, Lucas shot back, his voice low yet fierce. This involves Jessica, not your petty games. A palpable tension filled the room, drawing the attention of every single patron, their eyes darting back and forth like a live tennis match. Amber nervously whispered, "This is getting way out of hand. Am I interrupting something?" Lucas continued, his eyes narrowing at Eric, who was still reclining with a pout of amusement. "I'd hate to be the one to spoil your fun." Eric opened his mouth to retort, but then thought better of it, closing his lips into a tight line. Jessica noticed a flicker of fear in his expression. Was he afraid of Lucas, or the past that tied them all together? "Maya," Jessica said, finding a newfound strength, "if you wanted to help, then why are you trying to destroy me?" Maya's laughter was a chilling sound. "Oh, my dear. Destruction is just a means to an end. Isn't it?" Jessica shot a glance at Lucas, heart racing. What is this about, Lucas? His gaze softened for a beat as he took a step closer. The warm familiarity between them battled against the icy chill Maya brought. "I found something," he said. "Something from last summer. You need to know." The air crackled as Jessica's heartbeat thundered louder. "What do you mean?" "I can't explain here," Lucas replied urgently, glancing around the cafe. "Trust me, please. It's crucial." "Trust?" Maya snorted, crossing her arms, her predatory demeanor returning. "That's rich coming from someone who helped sow chaos in the first place. Are you here to save her or condemn her, Lucas?" "Enough," Josh interjected, finally standing up and bristling with protective energy. "Whatever happened last summer, it's not coming into this cafe. Let us just leave if that's what it takes." Jessica's brain raced. The summer with Lucas, the fights, the secrets. Could whatever he found unravel the threads Maya sought to pull? The weight of the truth threatened to crush her, leaving her breathless. She could feel the restlessness of the patrons, their whispers turning into nervous chatter. With Lucas's eyes boring into her, she was torn between fear and hope. What did he know that could change everything? As she was about to respond, Maya struck. "Oh, Jess, you should be careful. Some truths are better left buried, or worse, they could come clawing back when you least expect it." A sudden crash echoed behind her as a beer glass shattered on the floor, startling everyone. Lucas's head snapped towards the sound, revealing a man in the corner standing up with clenched fists, a bruised face twisted with aggression. "Who is talking about the past?" he shouted, and Jessica's heart sank. She recognized him. Maya's satisfied smirk fell as she stared at the brewing confrontation. "What have I done?" Jessica whispered, realizing she might not be the only one with secrets. Would this storm of confrontations reveal the truth, or would it bury her deeper in a pit of betrayal and chaos? The clock was ticking, and shadows formed in corners she never knew existed. What would happen if every dark corner was drawn into the light? And who would be left standing when the dust finally settled? The tension in the cafe sang, a taut wire about to snap. Every patron's gaze felt heavy on Jessica's shoulders as the man with the bruised face stepped forward, fists tight and ready for whatever storm he thought was brewing. "You think you can just waltz back in here and open old wounds, Lucas?" he spat, his voice dripping with venom. "What do you know about what happened? You think you've got the guts to fix what you broke?" Lucas held his ground, steel in his spine, his eyes flicking between the bruised man and Jessica. "This isn't about you, Quinn. Step back." Quinn's snarl deepened, turning embers of anger into flames. "Not about me? You sure? You're the one dragging up the past." Maya, with her cool sardonic smile, stepped closer to Quinn. "You don't quite understand, do you? Some pasts refuse to stay buried." She glanced at Jessica, her words curling like smoke around her. "Don't they, Jess?" Jessica's heart raced. Each beat echoed in her ears like a warning. The weight of every hidden memory pinned her in place, suffocating. She could feel Lucas's presence beside her, a flicker of warmth against the cold wall of chaos. "Lucas," she whispered, needing him to break this palpable tension. Turning her focus to Quinn, she searched for empathy in his eyes, but instead found fury. "What do you want?" she asked, her voice trembling. Quinn stepped closer, fists still clenched. "I want the truth. I want to know how many lives you all ruined while pretending to be innocent." Jessica's breath hitched. Was he talking about last summer? Memories of chaotic nights and whispered secrets bubbled to the surface. "That's not fair," Jessica protested, a lump forming in her throat. "You don't know everything." "Don't I?" Quinn shot back, shoving his finger into his own chest. "I was there. I saw the lies, the deceit. I was collateral damage in your little game." Maya leaned in, looking pleased with the chaos unfolding. "Oh, but that's just it. What is a little chaos without some collateral?" The cafe buzzed with whispers, patrons peering over coffee cups and phone screens, anxious and intrigued. Josh, still standing guard, took a step forward, brandishing the fierce loyalty of a bulldog. "You don't get to taint this place, or any of us, with your shadows. Not anymore. You think you can silence us?" Quinn laughed, a brittle sound laced with pain. "You're all still running from it, and I'm not stopping until I get answers." Lucas's voice broke through the tension. "Stop." This isn't how before he could finish, an unexpected sound sliced through the chaos, the clinking of glasses and a sudden laughter from the back of the cafe. An unexpected patron had erupted with mocking glee, pointing at Lucas. "Look who's got a little hero complex." Jessica turned, confused, meeting the eyes of a woman she didn't recognize. She was dressed in an elegant outfit, her confidence radiating like heat. "What's the matter, Lucas? Can't handle the truths you've hidden?" And just like that, the focus shifted, like a spotlight turning red. Lucas's jaw tightened, pain flickering in his eyes. "What are you doing here, Emily? Thought I'd drop by, but clearly you're too busy dancing with your secrets." Emily smirked, stepping forward to fully engage the group. Jessica swallowed hard. What now? Lucas and Emily? Another layer unraveling, another truth lurking. Maya's delight grew, a predator relishing the chaos, while Jessica felt the ground beneath her quaking. The past, a monster awakened, loomed larger by the second. Would this revelation lead to healing, or was it just the beginning of another wave of destruction? And who else was still hiding in the shadows, waiting for their moment to strike? The clock was ticking, and silence seemed impossible. Emily's laughter ricocheted off the cafe walls, sharp and unwelcome. Jessica shifted uneasily, absorbing the sudden weight of Emily's arrival. "Why now? Why here?" Quinn's attention darted between Lucas and Emily, sparks of recognition igniting a fiercer fire in his eyes. "You know this one?" he asked, voice low, cold enough to freeze. Jessica could feel her heart thrumming in her chest like a drumroll for impending chaos. Lucas's face was a mask of containment, but she recognized the flicker of something darker lurking in his expression. "Yeah, I know Emily," Lucas finally said, his voice steady but strained. "What do you want?" Emily's smile widened, all edges and glitter. "I just wanted to see how the reunion was going. It looks intense." She leaned against a pillar, crossing her arms with casual defiance, making it clear she enjoyed the spotlight. "And to expose lies?" Quinn interjected, stepping toward her with barely suppressed anger. "You seem to thrive on chaos too, huh? What is your stake in this?" "Loose lips sink ships," she replied flippantly, a conspiratorial twinkle in her eye. "But I'm just here for the show, and maybe a little truth-telling." Lucas clenched his fists, grounding himself. "You never understood the damage you caused, did you?" Emily's smile faded, just for a flicker, before re-emerging like a phoenix from ashes. "Damage? Oh, come on. You need to lighten up. There's more at play here than you've even begun to grasp." "Maya," Jessica said desperately, trying to bring some control back into the spiraling chaos. "What do we do?" Maya tilted her head, enjoying the unfolding drama. "What obligation do you have to save Lucas from the truth? Or yourself? We all deserve the truth." Quinn shouted, veins pulsing as he pierced the raw tension like a sword. Enough games. Enough secrets. With the cafe's attention entirely absorbed in the escalating confrontation, Jessica felt the walls closing in. "Quinn, stop it," she pleaded, stepping between them. "This isn't helping anyone." "Not helping?" he echoed, voice rising. "You think ignorance is bliss? You think hiding from the past will heal? Maybe I don't want to be reminded." Jessica shot back, her voice rising with a mix of desperation and fury. The cafe had become a pressure cooker, each moment charged with unspoken truths and broken relationships. Emily's eyes glinted, and the tension surged as if it were a tangible pulse in the air. "All this fuss, are we really ready for what might be exposed?" "You're the last person who can talk about readiness," Lucas snapped, his voice carrying authority that silenced the whispers swirling around him. Emily stepped forward, batting her lashes innocently. Touchy. But you can't blame me for wanting clarity. It's so refreshing." "What do you mean?" Jessica asked, feeling the edges of panic whisper through her mind. "Clarity isn't always a friend," Emily replied cryptically, a fabricated sweetness playing on her lips. "Stop talking in riddles," Quinn retorted, fists balled tightly at his sides. A sudden hush descended as a phone rang, breaking the heavy silence. Everyone's heads turned. The caller ID lit up on Quinn's phone, and his expression shifted to alarm. "What is it?" Lucas pressed, stepping closer, a new tension coating his voice. The silence held a voltage, charged and desperate. Quinn clicked to accept the call, his breath catching. "What?" Another silence, this one weighted with secrets. Jessica caught snippets of Quinn's tone, rising, dropping, shaking as the words registered in his mind. "Please tell me you're joking." No, that can't be." Before he could finish, Quinn hung up, his demeanor changing abruptly. Fear flashed across his face, like a storm brewing on the horizon. "We need to go now." "What just happened?" Jessica whispered, heart racing as the cafe buzzed back to life, an uneasy energy swirling around them. But Quinn was already moving towards the door, urgency painting every movement. "Wait," Lucas called, but Quinn was gone, like smoke blown on the wind. "What now?" Jessica turned back to Lucas, confusion etched across her face. "But..." Lucas's eyes were scanning the cafe, something shifting in their depths. The past was haunting them again, only more volatile this time. "Something's not right," he murmured, stepping closer to Jessica, urgency threading through his voice. Another call hung in the air, looming over them all. What revelation loomed on the horizon? And who would unravel the truth first? The cafe buzzed with uncertainty, every eye darting between the remnants of chaos and the new tension that crackled in the air. Jessica's heart raced as she watched Quinn disappear through the door, his urgency leaving a lingering sense of dread behind. What could have happened? What had he just learned that made him flee like that? "Jessica," Lucas urged, breaking through her swirling thoughts, "we need to figure this out now." His voice was low but charged, carrying urgency that resonated deep inside her. She nodded, feeling the weight of everything that had been left unsaid, unresolved. Maya, still lingering, smirked at the unfolding chaos. "What a tangled web you've woven, Jessica," she taunted lightly. "But did you really think you could outrun the past forever?" Her words hung in the air like a specter, reminding Jessica that secrets had a way of clawing their way to the surface, no matter how hard she tried to bury them. "I'm done hiding," Jessica said, her voice firmer now, stirring a flicker of defiance within her. "But I need to know what just happened there. What did Quinn learn?" She turned to Lucas, searching his eyes for answers. "Do you know?" "I recognize something, Jess," he replied, meeting her gaze with a mixture of concern and determination. "Quinn wasn't just a victim in this. He's tangled in something much bigger, and if he's running, it means danger is involved." Just then, Eric stepped forward, still exuding a confident calmness despite the chaos around them. "You're right, Lucas. Quinn knows something, and whatever that is, it's not just about the past, it's imminent." His eyes sparked with interest, reminding Jessica that he was still a wild card in this dangerous game. "Imminent?" Jessica echoed, her anxiety swelling. "What does that mean?" It means we need to uncover the truth now. Eric leaned closer, his voice low, almost conspiratorial. Before it surfaces unannounced and destroys everything. Her heart pounded as realization dawned on her. You mean we're running out of time? Exactly. Lucas took her hand, grounding her amidst the brewing storm of memories and uncertainty. Let us get out of here. We need to regroup and figure out what's at stake before it's too late. Amber, quiet until now, looked puzzled. You really think we can just walk away and fix this? The cafe is filled with whispers. People are watching us. How do we make sense of what's happening? Simple, Maya interjected, her tone now almost serious. You grab the truth by the horns and don't let go. Her smirk softened, a hint of understanding passing between them as if she too sensed the weight of their predicament. Jessica took a deep breath, awareness flooding her senses. Then let us find out what Quinn knows together. We can't let this spiral out of control. She turned to Josh, who had been watching the whole scene unfold silently. Their eyes met, a flicker of shared understanding passing between them. He'd been the anchor during turbulent times, and she needed that stability now more than ever. Are you with me? She asked, her voice shaking slightly under the weight of everything. He nodded, stepping forward, his presence reassuring. Always. And just like that, they were united, a team fueled not just by desperation but also by hope. They had come too far, endured too much to not see this through to the end. As they turned to leave the little cafe, the door swung open again. Its hard clang rang out, drawing everyone's attention back to the entrance. Jessica's heart dropped as she recognized Quinn, his face pale, eyes wild. They're coming, he shouted, the storm behind him visible in the way the wind whipped through the door. Who's coming? Lucas demanded, his instinct immediately protective, shifting slightly in front of Jessica as though that would shield her from whatever horror loomed beyond. Let us go, Quinn rasped, as panic echoed in his voice. No time to explain. The weight of the moment crashed down like a wave as the group understood the past wasn't done with them yet. It had claws, and it was ready to sink them deep into hidden truths they could know. Longer ignored. As they moved into the storm, Jessica dared to believe that they could face whatever came next together. Maybe understanding meant facing loss, but it could also mean liberation. The stakes were higher now, and the shadows of their past burst forth, but she wasn't scared. She was ready. With each step into the unknown, it felt like they reclaimed a piece of themselves, a piece woven through the fabric of truth, binding them tighter together as they faced the musical echo of the storm behind. This was the moment. This was their chance. You need to subscribe now to catch every unique twist in future tales. Smash that like button right now. Every click helps more than you can imagine. Flood the comments with your reactions and theories about what's next. Don't wait even one more second. Share this story with at least 5 friends who need to be part of the next chapter. Let us keep the journey alive together.